Good evening, everyone. I am coming on today. I have had a really great day today. It could have started off another way, but it really was a great day. So I got up early this morning. Of course, you all started the day with me and, just having a little kiki for the morning, a little kiki in the morning. And after the little kiki, I was going into a wedding rehearsal. And of course, you all, I thought the wedding rehearsal was going to be one place. They changed the venue. I was a little touched in my spirit by that because I'm like, well, it was good that they had someone to direct people to the new venue, but I'm like, it could have been done a little bit better. And I guess a couple of people didn't get it. So they were good enough at least to have someone to redirect. Now, the wedding rehearsal was actually in the suburbs, but they changed it to the downtown area. So I'm like, oh my God, y'all know downtown ain't no joke. Uh, you just pray that your car don't get broken into. San Antonio is not really bad, but some areas and some places, so I always try to put my bag and stuff in the trunk. So I was already complaining that I had to move and we had to go somewhere else. And, they need to pay for my time and my gas. And I was feeling some kind of way. I was really not happy about it. So when I got there, it was at a place and they had a pickleball. They had a lot of pickleball courts. So the wedding rehearsal started. They waited. It was good. It was well organized on that end. So I got to give it to them. I ain't trying to cap it down. I got my gas money though. I was not playing. I had to talk to that wedding coordinator and say, hey, look, y'all need to pay for my gas money because went to the suburb and then I had to get on Interstate 10, which I rarely do. I rarely use Interstate 10, you know, unless I'm going to a church on the west side of town or something. So, which they did. But baby, they was playing that pickleball. And I had brought my gym clothes and my tennis shoes. And when I tell you that I played some pickleball, now I've never played pickleball before. And this was my first time learning. But baby, when I got them rules and we started playing for points, it got real. It really got real. So I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. And then um, I got lyric and with my better half, we really had a good time today and went and walked the dog and so baby, I'm already sore, child. You know I'm already sore from that pickleball. So Boo is out getting something for me. So I appreciate it. I said, let me come on and talk to you all a little bit. So I know there is a lot going on today. And but I just wanted to come on and just say that I really had a great day and even entertaining you all on YouTube and making you I know I cussed a lot today, but baby, it was victory cuss. I know people don't understand that, but it was a victory cuss, baby, because I was playing that pickleball like I was in the Olympics and I had won a gold medal. And that's how and I love like racquetball and tennis and those types of things. What's up, that First Lady Sparkle? So I love those types of things. And so I really enjoyed it. And then it got better as I started hanging out with the love of my life. And we had a really good time. So I want you all to know that my day has been really good on today. Loving life. What's up, Lady Sparkles? How you doing? Y'all, it's just been a beautiful day. And again, I don't have anything crazy to say. I know some crazy things has happened. So what have I missed? Did I miss a lot? Did I miss a lot? Because, baby, I have been enjoying just doing what I'm doing. But did I miss anything? Lady Sparkles, did I miss anything? Did anything crazy happen? Um, Baby, it's 26 people in here. Did anything crazy happen while I was away? Because I am like Miss Olivia today, child. I'm really not checking for a whole lot of stuff. But I'm just wondering, is crazy stuff happening tonight? Or when I was actually playing pickleball and enjoying my companionship. Oh Lord, is that Sparkle? It is. It is. Look at it. She got pepper. Crystal LaBeija on.
Take us to
Come on with that.
Asia, because that's me, darling. You know, I
Okay
told you I'm
now.
60,000 years old when I rose out the grave because I have the rights. Hey, everybody. Hey, Brookie.
What's up,
Brookie,
Brooke?
yeah, we was loving y'all. You sound a little monotone today. You can like not your usual self. You
No, no,
okay?
no,
You
no,
good?
no, 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 no. I had
Like
a
you
good
said.
time. It's been a good day
You
today.
must have had some good loving in the oven or something,
Well,
because
I can't say I'm
you know,
not gonna tell you all that, but I tell you I had a real good day today.
I
And
know that's
but you
right.
know what? No, I don't play ping pong. You know what?
Yeah. Oop, stay what
Pickleball is a
happened.
little different, and racquetball. Those are my two. And I've never played pickleball before, so I really enjoyed it today. But you know what? I'm not monotone. I just had a really good day, and I sometimes it's not always about being bombastic. See, now I don't know if you heard my live earlier. I don't know if you heard my earlier two lives, but I was baby, it was on and popping. Cause baby, I was on an adrenaline rush. And so now I've come down from my adrenaline rush. And so I'm real easy like Sunday morning, but baby, I'm feeling real good. But Miss Douglas, I don't play ping pong, but I do like I said, this was my first time playing racquetball. I mean, not racquetball, but pickleball, and I really enjoyed it. You all, oh my god, and the trash talk and the people. Ooh, it was good. It was good. I really enjoyed that sport. I really enjoy it. I didn't and pickleball is new, but it was my first time playing it. So I really enjoyed it. Baby, I was talking mad trash. But anyway, anything else is going on, y'all? Is anything going on? It seems like the streets are dry, I guess. I don't know. I have not been on them. But anybody messy today? I'm in a very zen messy spirit today. Okay, very zen, messy spirit today. So that's where I am. But Brooke, you don't got nothing, girl. You don't have none, Brooke. Ooh, y'all quiet tonight. So I guess I'm gonna come on off. So when does this what they call this thing, this debate? Girl, when does this debate start? Debate that we don't know what they debating on. When does that start? I'm just trying to find out, Brooke. We don't know what they're gonna be debating on. The late debaters, that's what y'all call it. The late, not the great debaters, but the late debaters. My God, today. Mm-mm-mm. Hey, Phoebe. Oh, Jesus. She finally done with Lemon. Anyway, interesting. Interesting. Lemon doing a debate, child. I know. Hey, Miss Douglas. So she finally done with Lemon. Okay. All right. Whatever. Okay. Oh, Brooke said that ish ain't popping. Right. It's pretty quiet. Okay. Or Lemon Channel on 11. Okay. Well, people probably go over there, girl. I don't know what they debating about. And it seems like it's gonna be an old nasty piece of Thunderdome. And I just pray that Lemon ain't drank before he is doing this debate. And I hope he don't fall asleep. Somebody said, Brooke, folk are saying you doing brown skin woman appreciation panel. Is that true, girl? Jay Crystal deleted her community wall. Okay, that might be helpful for her. That might be a good thing. Brooke said, Phoebe Boo, I was trying to get up with you in our group chat, Boo. Well, he has already started drinking. No, Brooke. No. Brooke, who is this brown skinned woman appreciation panel? You on a panel, Brooke? You doing panels? They said you on somebody's panel, Brooke. So who is brown skinned woman? I ain't never heard her. She in the beef sector. You going outside the sector, Brooke? Brooke, now I ain't mad at you, but I'm being a little messy. You going outside? Oops, somebody said, Brooke said, no, I'm not. Y'all so messy. Brooke, what's the topic for the debate? Brooke said y'all being messy. She said y'all being real messy on tonight. Hey, state of being, you laughing. Anyway, Brooke, who is brown skinned woman and why people trying to associate you with her? Okay, well, why they trying to associate you with her, Brooke? So yes, now Brooke is back over here hanging out with me now. When Brooke was over there with Ness and she thought she was going over there to that Vegas, Brooke was treating me a little different. But see, Brooke, I'm the same, Brooke. See, I'm gonna be with you no matter what, bro. I always like you, even when folk were coming for you. I always like you, Brooke. But see, you got a little taste of some tension over there, and you kind of did me wrong, niece. But I love you. I ain't gonna I ain't gonna cap you down. What snicker challenge? Ooh, Jesus, a snicker challenge, bro. Hmm. Look at Brooke last. You know I'm telling the truth. Now I'm calling it out, Brooke. Now I'm calling it how I see it. Now you may have a different take on this, Brooke, but that's how I synced it. But I still like you, Brooke. I still like you. Mm. What is the snicker challenge, girl? What is the snicker challenge, Brooke? Is it like people sniggling or is it the snicker candy bar? Baby, what is the snicker challenge, Brooke? What is this snicker challenge? Lord, what is it, girl? I know Creole butterfly. What is the snicker challenge? Are they eating candy bars? How many candy bars you can eat? I'm just trying to figure out you talking about the candy Snickers? Oh Lord, she gonna need 5 minutes. Brooke trying to put her face on, honey. She gonna beat her little face. Okay, she getting her throat ready. Come on, Brooke. I ain't heard of no snicker challenge. Well, what is it, BB? What is she all up in arms about that challenge? Well, what now? Creole usually is not very controversial. So what country Creole doing to make Brooke mad? Nah, no, not Creole. Now what you got now? No, not my Creole. Now what you doing? It's for dark skinned women only. It's for the dark skinned women. Oh Jesus. Oh Jesus. No, she said at first your skin tone has to be the color of a Snicker bar or darker as a black woman. No other shades can join. What? Is this like the Zulu ball in New Orleans and then they had the other ball for the light skinned Creole people? Is that what they doing? They doing this New Orleans type thing, like the Zulu ball and the Octoroon ball, and that's what y'all doing? They want to have a challenge with women that is darker than a Snicker. They too empowered them. She changed the rules, Pastor. Ooh, Lord Jesus. Lord Jesus. I can't. Ooh, everybody. You know what? I'm going to say this, y'all. I like Creole, but I'm going to tell you, I don't think this is a good idea. I don't. I don't think this is something that should be done because I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I think these women should have a conversation about colorism and as dark women what they go through, as light women what they go through, because I think everyone has different challenges. There are some advantages and there are some disadvantages. And at the end of the day, the man see all of y'all as the N word. Some of them, not all. And that's what I think the problem is. That's what I think the problem is, you all. And I think that we really need to be coming together. I do think we need to be coming together. Now, we have some people who have won a presidential election and they like this kind of stuff because it's about division. And again, you know, we go back to slavery. And I know people don't like us talking about slavery, but we know dark skinned people worked in the field and the light skinned people worked in the house. We know that a lot of light skinned people, because they worked in the house, they felt some kind of connection with the master. And most of them were essayed by the master anyhow. So, they wound up having children and they felt some kind of way. But again, when you oppress people and people oppressing you, that's how you feel. Um, but at the end of the day, all of us were oppressed. Whether you were a house slave or a field slave, you were oppressed. The house slave got to eat a little bit better, but were still subjected to beatings, still subjected to SA, still subjected to a lot of things. The only thing that was different is they were inside the house. They were privy to information, but they were still oppressed. And we need to see that. We need to see that. And I think to this day, people are still using this to separate and divide us. And I think we need to realize that because, again, these light skinned people came because of the result of somebody, you know, thinking that these people who, again, they thought was subhuman, but good enough to have sex with and have these children. And I think this is what we need to realize because we're all victims. We have all suffered at the hands of some barbarous um, people. And I think, having these type of things, I don't know, it divides more than it brings us together. Hey, what's up? What's up, Catherine?
Hey, Pastor, how are you?
I was reading this. I didn't know about this Snicker challenge, and I think it's problematic. I really
Okay.
do. And I do like Creole, but I still think it's problematic. And I can say that without disrespecting her. And I can understand where sisters of a darker hue feel some kind of way because of how people push things and act like that. I get it. I get it. But I think we need to have a conversation of why, and we need to feel each other's pain. You have these lighter skinned women who have an expectation. People have an expectation of them, and it's all about these expectations. And my question is, who define these expectations, and why are we following these things, and why are we letting people do this? Because at the end of the day, black is black. I don't care if you look like Colin Aldridge, who didn't win the Senate seat from Ted Cruz, who really is very, very light as far as his complexion, or you looking like the late Herman Cain or Clarence Thomas. Black is black. And at the end of the day, that's what people see you as. And I don't know if y'all saw Queen, but baby, when they found out who Queen was, see, it changed the whole narrative. Okay, go ahead, Catherine.
Well, yesterday I was listening to Pizarro's live yesterday, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so what happened was Creole hit the panel and she started talking about her challenge. Now, for me, I'm not talking about for nobody else. For me, when she said that just read my drunk book, I mean, just like to drink a lot was gonna be a judge, I was done right there. See, because she already jacked up somebody's competition in October. Okay. She jacked up that girl's poetry competition. I witnessed it firsthand. The girl got up there doing her poetry and just drank too much. I'm sorry, just read my book. Let me be just respectful. Just read my book. Who drank too much, like I said, told the girl that she just jacked the whole thing up. See, but if see while we calling people out, how could you see it? Creole must didn't see that. Listen, I ain't got nothing against Creole. I like her. I like her lives and all that stuff. But you can't have somebody to be a judge who has already showed you, Pastor, that they're not fair.
Well, but this is the thing. It's not even the judge. It's just the context of the competition.
She
And-
started.
and-
I listen. I almost want you to go back and listen to when she listen.
Mhm.
I almost want you to go back. I think I'm gonna get the timestamp for you when she
Mhm.
came up there on. Listen, they were having a conversation. They were not talking about Creole and her competition. Creole hit Pizarro's live. I ain't got nothing against Creole, but she hit her live, and this is exactly what she said verbatim. Well, pizza, I just came up here to announce my darker than a Snicker challenge. Now, Brooke is in the comments, or she right here on the panel. I'm sorry. So Brooke know that what I'm getting ready to say is not a lie. I don't know about World War One, two, or three, one or two, but I know when Creole said that yesterday, World War III broke out on Pizarro's panel. You had TG, you had Brooke, and maybe I can't remember the rest of the people that started telling Creole that that wasn't right. Now,
Mhm.
as everybody, no, I'm not gonna say everybody knows that picture that Creole has on her avatar. It's lighter. Now you can see that I'm dark. That's not even a secret. So
No, we
somebody,
can't see you because your picture usually don't come up.
okay,
Yeah,
but I'm
it's
dark.
not up. Okay.
I've sent you've seen pictures of me, so you know I'm chocolate.
Hmm.
I'm just about the same
But
complexion
this is the
as.
thing, though. Let me say this, though. I hear what you're saying. I'm not even concerned about the judges. And again, I don't have a problem with Creole. Creole comes over here. Creole is welcome over here. I just think the whole concept is problematic. I think before we have a competition, I think why don't we have a round table with women of a lighter hue and our darker sisters and let us talk it out. Let us say, okay, this is what we go through. Let us listen to each other and figure out what we have gone through and be civilized to listen to each other because I think that we really need to talk about it. It is the elephant in the room. You know, I would be crazy to not think that people of lighter hue don't get special privileges because of their lighter hue. I see that. It was even mentioned on the Housewives of Potomac. It's real. I see how people talk to the Miss O, you know, calling her crispy and all of this kind of stuff. And I'm like, wow, that's deep. But then on the other hand, I look at Villanora and folk calling her white woman. And I just think that we really just need to have a conversation. I think a conversation, a real conversation, listening to each other, not coming in a combative manner, but saying, hey, you all, first of all, we in this boat together. Can we all agree that we are black folk and you know, we in this ship together? And then we need to start parsing out the things that have divided us and where these things come from. And like I said, half of it is about slavery. And it's not only about color. Do y'all not know the Hutus and the Tutsis in Rwanda were fighting, and a lot of Rwandans were slaughtered all because of the size of their nose? The Tutsis had aquiline nose, and the Hutus had thick, broad noses, and the Dutch people separated them because of that. And that's what happened in that country. And that thing boiled over to the point where people who were married for years, different tribes, started taking each other out. And I think we really need to have a conversation. So I can understand Creole trying to have her situation, you know, but and I like Creole, and I'm glad Creole is on. I'm gonna let Creole talk, but I just think that a competition dealing with that, it can be problematic. So, and again, this is my first time hearing of it, so that's why I'm actually saying this now. What's up, Creole? What's going on with you?
Hey everybody, I'm good. Thank you for allowing me up, Jay. I spent so much time on this already. I really don't want to go back through all of it, but I would say this. I wish Brooke could have stayed up here because, Brooke, I thank you so much for explaining and, accepting that I did it out of did it out of a good heart and not being malicious. Okay. I will say this. I am back at the drawing board coming up with another concept. I thanked Mother yesterday for holding this thing and explaining about the reason why I came up with it in nubiology as well for having my back. Um, so I am thinking about a new concept, but first I want to correct something. When I hit Pisa's panel yesterday, I was hitting Pisa's panel and I actually said, Pisa, I just came up here to let everybody know you can find love on YouTube because my girl Robbie Privilege and old dude Cellulite, I said they met online and then now they done met up in person and all that and they're dating and it's going great. I said, so all you got to do is really want it to work and you got to put forth effort and you can get a relationship on YouTube. And so Pisa said, yeah, because Kiki and whatever his name is, they still dating and I didn't know it. So before I dropped down, I said, do you mind if I tell about the competition? And she said, no, go ahead. And I said, okay. So that's when I started talking about the competition. And that's when, everybody that came up was telling me how they felt about it. And I respect that because that's their feelings. I can't disregard how they feel because it's their feelings. But the only thing I was trying to do is just let everybody know that it was no bad intentions. I don't think like it. I was thinking, let's celebrate, these people that always feel like they behind the eight ball. So let's do something to celebrate this, and everything like that. So I have, like I said, I took what Mother said and what's her name? The Real K Fit gave me an idea. She actually gave me the title to rename it, and the idea just came after that. So I am back at the drawing board, and I am gonna
So what is your focus? And I hear what you're saying, and I understand that. Um, but yeah, so are you trying to find matches or celebrate dark skinned sisters? And I can get that. I'm with that. I'm with that. But what is this? What does this? And I know a lot of people say it's promoting separation. Now let me say this though. Let me say something in Creole's defense. Black women who are darker and black men who are darker have always been treated really unfairly. And it's not because us, it's because somebody put in lighter folk mind that light is right and black stays back. And I think that it's something that has been ingrained in us. And I think that that's a big issue. However, I'm not silly enough to know about the brown paper bag test that they used in New
yeah.
Orleans to figure out who would be in certain sororities and certain clubs. And I think that those people of a lighter hue did that, and I think it has really caused a shockwave. And these are some things that we haven't really spoken about, and I
In
think
my
we do need to speak
Can
to
I
it.
jump in real quick?
Yeah,
Yeah, go ahead, babe. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
go ahead, Brooke. You on? I'm letting you speak, Brooke.
We can't hear you if you're saying something, Brooke.
Brooke, I think you on mute, Brooke. Brooke, you on mute. Brooke, you gotta unmute yourself. So I think Brooke might be on mute right now. Can you
Okay,
all hear
I wanted
me?
to say this. Yeah, I can hear you. In my night,
Okay.
my naivete, I was hoping that when people saw this, especially women, that they would say, you know what, my sisters, yeah, they always get the butt end of the stick. I know some people like it. Yeah, let's celebrate that. Let's do that. And then the next time we'll do something for somebody else, and then those sisters can celebrate them. Because I
I'm
don't
sorry.
have no hate in my heart. So if go ahead, Brooke, since you back. Go ahead, baby.
My bad. Yeah, somebody had called while I was right in the midst of talking. Okay, so let me first say that um my issue wasn't and well, okay, let me just first say that I did not believe that Creole Butterfly did this with negative or disheartening I don't think that she did this intentionally. My heart says that she didn't do it intentionally, but my heart also felt some kind of way when it was being presented, because I feel like, as Black women, we all have been through struggles with certain things. And I know up north doesn't really struggle a lot with what down south, far as and with the colorism issue. Up north, we really, I mean, we may encounter something, here and there. I can honestly say I've never encountered an issue where I was treated differently or where I treated someone differently because of their skin tone. Everybody in my family is darker than me. My immediate family, my children, they're darker than me. My god kids, they're darker than me. My mom is darker than me. My dad was darker than me. Like everybody, was darker than me. But I've never experienced where none of them were even being treated um unfairly due to their color. So to me, as a Black woman, when it was being described, and again, I have never had an issue with Creole. She's always been sweethearted to me. So I did not come off disrespectful or even in the magnitude to try to disrespect her. And hopefully she didn't feel disrespected. But I felt some kind of way because I felt like you are cutting off the other Black women. We go through stuff too. Like Purple Peach had put in the chat. She said, when I was a child, because of her hair, she's a lighter hue. Because of her hair, whatever, her light skin, people would try to burn and cut off her ponytails. That is traumatic as a child that someone would attack you because of what you look like. So when it comes down to like, even though dark skinned women may get it, bad, I'm not for sure because I've never experienced it. But I'm speaking as a light brown skinned woman where I have gotten, not necessarily to the point where I feel like it has affected my security and making me insecure. But people have said things to me where though it has been offensive in reference to my color. It happens all the time. But at the end of the day, I don't believe that Creole did this intentionally to cause an uproar. I think it
Yeah.
just happened. Like when it came out, it was like, what? And if I had to give Creole a look, okay, she's that emoji with the mouth open, like, what the fuck just happened? What happened?
Yeah.
Wait a
But you
minute,
know
what's
what though?
going
I think
on?
it warrants, Brooke, though, I think it warrants a conversation.
Yeah, I
'Cause
can agree with you
I
on
do
that.
think it's an elephant in the
I agree.
room. I think that light skinned Black women and men go through a lot. But I would
Mhm.
be I would be pressed to say that white people feel a little bit more comfortable with people who remind them or look like them. It seems like the darker your skin, people have issues. We talked about this on the Sports Illustrated magazine when they had LeBron James or one of them. It was almost like the King Kong type of thing, how he was holding that woman up. And I'm like, that didn't strike me well. And sometimes
Mhm.
it is very indirect, but if you know history, you look at stuff.
Mhm.
And I just think that we have to realize that it comes from somewhere. It
It
comes
do.
from somewhere. And we need to discuss this and how do we combat this. I think people need to recognize their privilege. I think some other people really need to recognize some things. I mean, when we have dark models and stuff, I mean, that's an issue because some of us even have issues with that. Let me give you a prime example. I know some people and families that they adopted the fair skinned child, but let the dark skinned child go into uh,
The
Foster
system.
care something.
foster care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I've seen that in a lot of Black families.
Mhm.
And I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
I've seen it. And I just think that at the end, my question is why? Why did you choose this child? I mean, there is something psychological there to say, hey, that this is I don't know,
But
and
that
I
happens
think
on both sides though, Jay Wilson, because
it
I
does
have
it does
also
it
seen
happens on
where
both sides. It
the
happens on
light
both
skinned child didn't get chosen, and the light skinned child was in the same boat as the dark skinned child, which is really crazy because a child is a child. We can't control how we come out of our
Yeah.
mama's
Well,
coochie.
well, that's true. I have a relative right now kind of messed up because she felt that she had to be real
Wow.
ratchet to
Mhm.
make it because she didn't get accepted by the white folk because she wasn't white, and the Black folk was looking at her like, "Girl, you got that stringy hair." So she was
Mm.
suspect on both sides. But I think we need to really realize that again, most of these people had some SA issues going on when they were
Mhm.
taken. I
Mhm.
mean, and
Can,
I think we need to talk about that.
can I say something real quick, Jay Wilson?
Yeah.
Okay. And I actually have a sister. I always refer to Mariah Carey because she's black, but if you look at her,
Mm-hmm.
I have two sisters just like that. And when we together, they
Mm-hmm.
think I don't know what white people think when they see us together because they think my sisters is white and I'm their nanny or something. I don't know what they
Oh
think
my God.
what they think because I'm the darkest one. And I want to say something. People are talking about my avatar picture. I don't know if people have never seen a stock photo before. When you have a business or you have a book or whatever, the publishers get a what is called a stock photo, which means they pick photos to put on the book to make it sell a little bit more. That is not my picture. I didn't never think I would have to explain that, but okay, that is not.
Creole.
Yeah,
Listen, can I say this? I agree with
yeah.
you, right? But we sometimes we don't be thinking that deep. I thought that was you on your picture. I swear to God, I thought it was you. I thought that
No,
was
baby,
you.
that's
Well, Creole, I
that's
got a
a child.
question.
I promise you
What
I
is the
did.
what was the motivation of having this competition? What did you want to do? What was your end game or goal for this competition?
Okay, I'm gonna say I'm gonna give you the condensed version because it's been like 48 hours.
Condensed version. I don't want to hear that. Yeah, because I don't want you to have to go through the whole thing.
Okay, I just wanted to, like I said, celebrate my sisters that look like me. Are darker than me, or whatever the case may be, the dark skinned women. Because, like I said, Jay, I do get a lot of emails, and for the most part, the emails that I get, women are some of them are way older than me, and some is around my age, and they're actually dealing with this color situation, and everything. So I thought, what would be a good thing to help celebrate those that are dark skinned and have them to look at themselves and be like, I'm just as good, as anybody else. I might be darker, I might be, dark as a snicker, like, whatever. But I'm good. My skin don't define who I am. That's what I was trying to do, and I was just hoping that my sisters, of any hue would say, you know what, that's true. Yeah, dark girls do get it kind of, we're gonna celebrate, we're gonna join you in celebrating them on this thing right here, and then we'll come up with something to celebrate these other women, and y'all join us. That's what I thought it would do, would take on a leg to where we celebrate this time. Somebody else come up with something for whatever other women, and then we join them and celebrate. That's how I thought. That's what I thought.
You
But
thought that about these people over here in this beef sector?
see, my channel is not in the beef sector. I just support the beef sector, but my channel is everywhere. And so, like James said, had it not been over here, it probably wouldn't have went over well. I
I
agree.
agree.
I
I agree
agree.
with that
It
too.
may
I
have
agree.
been. You know what though? I look at it too. I look at like Alabama State. They have the honeybees, and then I think there's something. And the honeybees are the big girls, and it's
Yeah.
always the joke. They're always the joke, but the girls can dance. They do their
Yes, they
things, but
can.
they're the jokes. And I just think, and I kind of understand what you're saying, Creole. And I don't want to cap it down, but I just I understand what you're doing. I just think it needs to be a conversation, and I think people really need to come and understand where people are coming from.
Well,
Um,
people had a problem with me asking Miss O to be my co-host. I got a whole lot of people telling me she wouldn't be able to control herself because she'll look at the chat and be cussing people out in the middle of it. I just think of her a little bit more higher than that. I think she'll be able to hold herself.
well, I
I
don't
said,
think people should be looking at the chat. I think if you're
Right.
going to be a judge, I think because I think that it could be some bias, and this is why, like I said, I look at my chat here. But when I'm on somebody's channel, usually I don't know what they're saying. And this is why you rarely hear me cussing and fussing out with people because I rarely, and I want to thank y'all for that super chat. Some of y'all sent some super chats. Thank you so much. I rarely fuss with people and fight with people because I'm rarely looking at the chat. But let me say this. All I'm going to say is that we need to look at the history and why. My people perish for lack of knowledge. And this is nothing new. This has been happening since emancipation and even during slavery. Of course, I'm going to say it again. Most of our lighter hue folk worked in the house. Not always, but they did. And usually they were a product of some SA or the plantation owner really loved the person, but because of racism and things, couldn't outwardly, show it. I look at what's that man, Storm Thurmond, had that daughter. Had that daughter. He was the biggest Dixiecrat and racist. Had that daughter. Sent her to South Carolina State University. Hid that woman. Can you imagine living with that secret? But again, she looked like him. She was real light. You can tell she had white parents.
Hmm.
Somebody in the family was white. So again, there's some trauma on that side too. But this is what I want people to realize, and I understand what you're saying, Creole.
Yeah.
People tend to choose people of a lighter hue because, again, you think that old white is right and black stays back. And I've heard it over and over and over again. Um, People
Yeah, it
feel
just
like,
kind of hurt my heart because I wasn't trying to offend nobody, and it's coming out that way. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, my mama, she's passing. Like if you see her, you would think if unless you really look real close to her hair, you wouldn't think she was black at all. You know what I'm saying? But I wouldn't. That's like trying to hurt myself. I wasn't trying to do that.
Miss O, why you need to come up?
Can I
I'm not
ask her?
saying, and let me say this because I'm not saying anything about you, D Miss O. I'm just saying that I don't watch the chat. And I'm not saying that you're going to be a good judge or not. I am just saying that hopefully one day we can have a conversation around this. Now, if Creole does this or not, she can do it. But I just think that there need to be conversations. I think people really need to talk about this. I think we
Yeah,
need to
I'm
look at
here
it from a
backing it.
historical. I think we
Yeah.
need to look at it as a historical standpoint and do those things. And I just think that, now, this is the thing. If the light skinned sisters have a competition and don't
That
bite
was
the dark skinned folk, are we gonna have
listen.
an issue with that?
That was
I told
my.
I
That was
said
my.
whoever did it, I would support
Mhm.
them because
So J
that's what they
Wilson.
Mm,
want to do.
Let me. Can
okay.
I jump in real quick?
Go
Because
ahead.
one of the things that was like two. That was the two main issues that I had: the desegregation of black women, and then if the shoes was flipped and it was a light skinned person, a light brown skinned person, a person who is the color of a brown paper bag or lighter can only join the competition. I promise you, the sector would have been in a uproar the entire fucking weekend
Yeah, that's what
talking
Brooke
about
said
it.
it first. Yep, she did say that.
It would have been in
Yeah.
a uproar had something like that happened. So again, because I feel like I can understand where Creole is coming from,
Hmm.
and I can respect that, but I
Hmm.
still felt like that was desegregating us as black women.
Yeah.
Where for real, at any given point, I know we fuss and fight, we still need to try to hold on to one another because we all we got. Like ain't nobody else capable for no black woman. Sometimes not even a black man capes for us. We don't even cape for one another, but the stronger that we become, the better that we are, right? So when I had asked Creole, one of the things that she said that one of the reasons is as well, because it was several reasons, and correct me if I'm wrong, Creole, you said that people
The
were reaching out
concept,
to
hold on
you.
for a minute though. The
Uh-huh.
concept is not offensive. It's not offensive. When somebody may get a job over you and they may have the same qualifications and the only thing that separates you is your color, that's the problem. I
Right.
mean, we need to talk about these things. And it's almost like essay happening in the family and folk know that their uncle crazy and will do something, but nobody don't say nothing. And I think we don't like conflict. But conflict has to happen for resolution. And I think there can be some kind of resolution. Now, let me say this, Miss O, if you have an issue with me, I want you to come up and I want you to tell me what the problem is because I don't have a problem with you. I never said that you shouldn't host or anything of that matter. I just said I don't read the chats when it comes to that. So I don't know what's really going on. But I am going to say I am no demons. Oh, some people think that you are upset at me for some reason, and I'm just saying if it is, I didn't notice that, and I don't know why. And if you are, and I'm not sure if you are or not, you're more than welcome to hit the link and come on
Yeah,
up.
she's
That's
speaking
all
to
I'm
the
saying.
people that's attacking her. She wasn't
Oh,
talking
okay,
about you.
okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure because a lot of people don't know what's going on, but you all look. We have to
Can I
deal
Jay
with.
Wilson? Can I?
Yeah.
Because I want you to respond to this one too, and see if you feel the same way that I feel. One of the things, one of the reasons that Miss Creole, and again, correct me if I'm wrong. You said that one of the reasons as to why, because black women, like of your, your color, they were reaching out to you saying that they were going through, issues of
Yeah,
colorism. Is that true?
yeah,
Like individually?
yeah,
Okay, so that was another one of her reasons as to why. And when she made that statement, I'm thinking, okay, I can understand that, but that could be probably on a deeper level because again, there are times where when we're, and I'm speaking of the beef sector because that's where we are, where if a light skinned person is beefing with a dark skinned person, the dark skinned person can say some of the most horrendous things. The moment the light skinned person say, "Oh, you crispy bitch," "Oh, you're a colorist," did you not hear the 10,000 things of that person that was just saying stuff to me? Like people feel like that's because you are lighter hue. When you get called a band-aid or a snow bunny or I think someone called Jay Dunn a snow stud or some shit like that. Crack, even shit. Somebody can call me a cracker before, and I'm like, a cracker? Are y'all crazy? Like
Hmm.
different things has been said. Or matter of fact, here's the
Hmm.
most, to me, the most disrespectful thing. You bleach your skin. That's an attack on my securities, my integrities, and all that because I don't have to bleach my skin to for my skin to be the color that it is. It's offensive. You know what I mean? So when people are coming at one another, at least I'm going to speak for myself. I don't look at that's going to change the difference. If you coming at me with some harsh words, I'm going to slap you right back with the same kind of harsh
And you know
words.
what, Brooke? I hear what you're saying. I really do. I've had relatives who were lighter hue, and they are just they're trapped. They're trapped, and then they try to do things to appear more black, as people deem what that is. And I'm like,
Mhm.
girl, just the mere fact of who you are is black. Your
Right.
speech doesn't make you black. How you dress doesn't make you black. You're black because of how you identify and who you are. You're black because of your community. I've seen a lot of things, you all. I do think that some people get that slack. Now, where I'm from, we've had a prominent doctor, very fair. A lot of, and it seemed like they had a lot of leadership positions and stuff, and a lot of black people who were darker resented that. I've seen someone who has climbed to the highest pinnacle of higher education, and some folk didn't want to respect him because he was dark, but yet his counterpart, who's light, who really, I'm not saying is a goofball, but he's not serious like this dude. He gets all mad respect, and people just, I see it, and that's when I say, well, why? Why is this dark skinned man who has just as much education and qualifications as this one gets treated so differently? So I think we need to ask ourselves: have we been so ingrained by the man to think that we're so less than, and that again we think certain
Insecurity,
things,
Jay Wilson.
and I do think that all groups go through. I really do think that all groups have their certain problems. um, they do. Like you said,
and I
some people feel like,
that
y'all get all this privilege, but then you all may be rejected by people in your family, or people may say some things. But
Mhm.
at the end of the day, I just seen a lot. And I just think again, we gotta go to the main component of it. How did this start it? How did this start rather? Who
And we got to
who
differentiate whether or not it's colorism or if it's insecurities, because you have people who mix the two. If a person is insecure about how they look, that could be something that's internal versus
yeah.
somebody else coming to them and saying something to them that they may be offensive about.
But let me say this, Brooke, though, when you keep on hearing stuff over and over and over and over again, and people keep on saying that your skin color is unattractive and unattractive, again, when they did that baby doll test, most of our kids chose the white baby doll. And that's something. That is something there. And I think we really need to address those things and realize what the common denominator is and how do we resolve this situation. And everything is not going to be solved and we're not going to get all the answers, but I do think that we really have to have a conversation and hear everybody's side of what
I
they've
agree.
gone through, because we don't listen. We talk at each other, but we really don't listen.
I
Creole,
agree with you.
are you there, Creole?
I'm here.
Okay. I hope that you weren't offended by what I just said. I mean, by what I said before you came up here.
No, I wanted to just correct it because I know with everything that happened after I made after I made that announcement, what I said before that it ain't nobody remember that. So I just wanted to bring it back to what my
Okay.
original,
Okay.
yeah, what I, and then I wanted to say this
Okay.
too. Dang, it was just on the tip of my tongue. However, I'm up to having a conversation with anybody, and that's why I said I didn't take it as Brooke, when she came up that she was attacking me over on Pizarro's or not. She was just passionate about how she felt, but once she understood where I was coming from, it was like, okay, well, this is how I'm feeling because of that. But I understand that you didn't meet, you wasn't coming out to do that. So I can appreciate anybody who wants to have a conversation. I really
Yeah,
do. And
because
so,
I
Well,
found it crazy that
Creole, can you have one right now?
she was she and again I expressed my feelings, and that was more so my feelings, right? But then I did see a few women,
theology.
dark skinned women, was saying things like um that they literally they feel like that was like like some kind of sympathy tool or some kind. I forgot what that animal said, but she tried to make it
I'm
seem,
hurt.
because now she's creating a whole different argument where she's trying to make it seem as if you're doing this, I guess, as like a sympathy run for dark skinned women.
And see,
And
that's what I
I
don't
like,
like because I came up here.
right.
I have told exactly why I did exactly why. It has not changed. But people don't want to accept that I'm doing it because what I said. They want to come up with, now I think you do well. I'm not gonna challenge what you think. I've already said 9,000 times why I was doing what I was doing. So
Right, right.
your
And you
not
all,
you
we haven't made color. Let me say this: we haven't made color an issue. Other folk have made color an issue. How they talk to
Yeah.
us have made color an issue. I mean, if we were in Africa, I don't think color would be an issue. But again, we need to put the blame where it lies, and it doesn't lie with us. But yet, it has adversely
Pastor,
affected us. And I'm just sorry. Even how we name ourselves affects us. Somebody named Gareth Austin is going to be hired before Kamadi Fontaine or LaFons or somebody like that, because again, that has been proven. And what we're saying is not off the wall stuff. It is stuff that has been proven that people who have ethnic sounding names may not get the opportunity and we know Africa has colorism issues, but again, all of that comes down to colonialism. And again, wherever other folk come and intermingle is always a problem. It's always a
but Pastor,
problem because people usually gravitate to what they've created or what they've made. So I'm not trying to say
but
that there's no problem in Africa either, you all, but all I'm going to say is if you do this, and then if somebody of a lighter hue and they have their little thing, then it's going to be interesting because it
It's
goes
going to
back
be
to
a
New
war.
Orleans Zulu
It's going
ball,
to be
wait a
a
minute, wait
war.
a minute.
and it goes back to
Pastor,
that
I
because New Orleans is a good indication of how this stuff plays out in their
but Pastor,
institutions.
but Pastor, I've experienced colorism with my two sons. One of my sons, my oldest son, let me clarify that. My oldest son, when he was born, was like a shade or two lighter than Brooke. And when he was a little boy and I would take him places, people will always ask me, is he adopted? Because you are dark and he is light.
And that's
Now,
ignorant.
right, but when I had my younger son, although he was born like your complexion, Brooke, he eventually turned darker in the hospital. So by the time he came home, he was my same complexion. Now, my older son, who'll be 30 next month, he is still light skinned. But my younger son, who's 24, he's still dark skinned. So I'm saying I've experienced colorism because people tend to look at the fact that I am chocolate. My son's father, when he was living, he was chocolate, but my son Solomon, It's about your complexion, Brooke. So people tend to look at us as a mismatch. I've experienced plenty of colorism with Solomon. So it does, I'm only speaking for me. It does happen with people of color when they tend to look at somebody that's dark like me and might have a child that's around Brooke's complexion. Say
And
that,
and
oh,
guess
is he
what?
adopted?
I can agree with you because mine was
Is
the
he
total. Mine
adopted?
was exactly like yours, but opposite in color. My firstborn, when I say, you see how the background is screen, black, just like that,
Right.
beautiful, big curly hair, beautiful, head full of curly hair, but he was chocolate, okay. And people were literally like, "Is that your son?" And I'd be like, "What the fuck you think?"
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's oh, excuse me, Pastor. Yeah, that's my son. What you think?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he came out of me. You want to see the scar? Would you like to see? Because I can show you. He's mine. Even still to this day, if he stand next to me, because he looks like his dad. But he's definitely like a dark. He's very dark chocolate, beautiful skin. And now when I tell you the best skin, that this boy, I ain't never had no issues with him with none of his melatonin, none, no eczema issues, no none of that. The most beautiful skin you can ever find on a person. That's my first baby, pure
Well, look,
chocolate, and I
let
love
me
it.
say this, you all, and I hear what we're saying, but this is what I want to say, and this is what we better remember. We have an administration now who doesn't give
Mm,
five shakes in a damn. If you
nope.
black, you black. And
That's it.
and I think we better figure out how we can at least come to grips with some of this stuff and really like know who we are and know that we're all on the same boat. Because again, I don't care if you was a house slave or a field slave. The bottom line is you were a slave. You didn't have no freedom. You couldn't read and you couldn't write either. See, we get wrapped up in this light stuff and dark stuff because some people may have some privileges and so on and so forth. But at the end of the day, all of those slaves were enslaved. None of them had their freedom. A light skinned slave could get slapped and bopped in the mouth just like a dark one. Unfortunately, the dark skinned slaves had to deal with the inclement weather, the sun, all of that stuff. The lighter skinned slaves may have had it a little differently, but the bottom line is they were still slaves.
Right,
And some of those slaves felt like they were close to the family and they felt close to the family, which I think is the Stockholm syndrome, where your captor has made you feel like you can sympathize with them. And unfortunately, and I hate to say this is why a lot of slave revolts or escapes were stopped because somebody done squealed, and it's usually not all the time, but it was usually the person who was in the house who tipped the master off because they felt like the master would look at them differently. And I think we need to look at those things. And I'm not pointing the finger. I'm just telling you all what has happened in our ugly, twisted history of slavery. Slavery is an ugly institution. It ripped families away. We were treated like dogs. We were bred like animals.
Worse than
I
dogs.
mean,
Yep.
we didn't have enough to eat. Now that we can't even eat oxtail, stuff that was throwaway meat now, child of folk done got it.
Yep.
I mean, but we were survivors. And all I'm saying is that, you know, we got to realize that certain people, even though they were enslaved, they had a few privileges more than other folk, and I think that stuff has prevailed even today. But
And you
at the end of the day, we were all enslaved. We
let me say
did
something if
not
I can,
have freedom.
Jay Wilson.
Go ahead.
Priya.
Okay. What I wanted to say real quick is that I am, like I said, I am back at the drawing board redoing it, and not because of what everybody feel, because I can change it and people still won't like me and they'll still talk about it. I'm doing this because, like I said, my heart was to uplift a certain color of people, you know what I'm saying, like skin color of people. But seeing how this has offended some, and like I said, not the ones who gonna talk regardless. I'm talking about Brooke and TG and people that I know that really know I wasn't trying to do nothing. I'm back at the drawing board trying to, tweak it here and there. And it's gonna be revealed. I'm gonna reveal the new thing come Sunday, and
Mhm.
everything. And again, not because there's people that just don't like it, period, and they just want something to say. Because I could care less about those people. They ain't gonna like nothing. They just want something to talk about. I'm talking about the people who really gave me something to think about, and for
Okay.
that, I'm appreciative. So I
All
am
right.
back to the drawing board, and I'm reconfiguring it to see
Mm-hmm.
how to do this. So
Okay. I have Mama D on. What's up, Mama D? What you want to say, Mama D? Because Mama D has been waiting patiently.
Good evening. Much love to your past panel, Cat. I wanted to say when I was young and I got out of the military, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I applied for a job at a department store. There was a darker skinned lady that was in the hall waiting on an interview. I got the job, but when I came out the door, the young lady thought she was going in to get the job. So when I got in the car with the person I was with, the first thing they told me, girl, it's a good thing you were light skinned or you wouldn't have gotten that job. Now, it didn't affect me because I was so young and thinking, well, I got a job, I mean, I'm going to be looking good, smelling good. This colorist stuff didn't come over me until I seen that young lady walk out the door with her head down. And I say, oh my God, I've taken bread out of someone else's mouth. But no one would think about it the way I did at that moment because I didn't express my thoughts to the person I was with. So yes, indeed, you can get places much faster if you were of a lighter tone when I was young. I don't know if it's still going on now, probably so. But I knew Miss Creole as soon as this came up. As a matter of fact, I was listening in when you announced the what is it going to be, a debate, a challenge,
it was like a challenge, yeah,
like a
and it
celebration? Yeah.
like a
Okay.
day
As
one.
soon as I heard it, I said, "Oh shoot." I knew that it would be some type of controversy on the streets because of what. And let me touch on the election right quick. The people, Pastor, you are right. They better pay attention. The people who voted for this man are not light skinned rappers. Those rappers are not light skinned. Most of those rappers that voted for that man, he didn't care what color they were. But most of them, Miss Creole, they are not light skinned guys. They are, guys of really melanated colors. I mean, you can see the rappers, the light skin with like Drake and all of them. I'm telling you, they're just a few of them. But the people who supported that man, they are not light skinned people. I'm just telling you, Pastor, they better wake up. They
Yeah,
better
I,
wake up.
I think there are two things that's gonna hurt us: colorism and classism.
Absolutely.
Racism, well, not colorism, but racism
Oh yeah.
and classism. Hopefully, these people see that money and class is what these people are looking at, and I think racism is a big thing as well. And I'm not mad. I just think that we just really need to have that conversation because we haven't, and it's an elephant in the room, y'all. I've seen both sides hurt. I've seen, like you said, Mama D, at least you acknowledge that's why you may have gotten a job and you didn't feel good about it. But
After
again,
I got home, no, I felt real bad because I thought about it, I said, damn, they do be hiring light skinned people more than dark skinned. And I'm
mhm.
serious. I know it's gonna make some people angry, but even if you had a certain type of voice on the telephone when I was young, they could tell whether you were black or white. For some reason, they were judging you over the telephone. You remember that, Pastor?
Oh yeah, name, telephone, all of that. And but and I was seeing somebody say, well, when you go get a car, they don't care about your color; they care about your credit score. Well, not always. Not always. You may live in a liberal town, but some people, they walk in and they already made an assessment about somebody. I never forget. I was teaching at a college, and I was dressed not in a suit and tie. I was dressed casually because I was going to the gym and actually just came in to pick up something. And the lady was like, "Oh, this is for Doctor Such and Such." And I'm like, I am Dr. Such and Such. Oh, you look so young. I'm like, I said, ooh, good. I said, good. I, I said, good correction there. Good, and we laughed about it. But again, you all, stuff happens. And let me say this, I don't want to deny people of a lighter hue their pain and trauma because they've gone through. Because a lot of them don't fit in with white folk and black folk rejecting them. But then I'm not going to sit here and deny that our black folk who are darker hue is not they're not having a good time either because of some things. And then you can look at the beef sector and what we say to each other. It's like, oh, that's interesting. I think Seven just clicked on. Seven, what's up?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, what's going on? What are your
You
thoughts?
stubborn.
I don't. Okay, so for that lady who was just talking, I
Hmm.
say this wholeheartedly. I am obsessed with your voice.
You talking about
I
Mama D?
love the way you sound. I don't know who she is. I heard
It's
her on
Mama D.
Pizarro's the other day. I was like, who is that lady? I like the way she sounds.
Okay,
You
that's
might
Mama
be
D.
talking about me,
No, not you. I'm talking about that lady who was just talking.
Mama
Mama,
D.
Talk about Mama
Okay.
D.
That's
it's
Mama
Mama D.
D.
Yeah.
My voice,
Yeah, she's talking
Yeah,
about
I
you,
don't
Mama
know
D.
what accent is that. What is that?
voice.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't like my voice.
No, I think I like your accent. I like the way you put your words together. That's what it is, really.
Well, you know I love yours. Thank you, Seven. Thank you. Thank you.
Can I say
So,
something real quick, and then I'm gonna go on mute and shut up so Seven can
Okay.
talk. Um, I just wanted to make a comment. It was crazy one day. I forgot where we were at, but we were in a beef sector. I can't remember what panel we were on, but this was maybe about almost 2 years ago, and I got offended yet again because somebody had made a comment and said, "Well, as a dark skinned women, we would like to have light skinned women or brown skinned women on our sides as allies." When I tell you that I almost blew a head gasket when that comment was made, I'm not your ally. I'm your goddamn sister. I can't
And
control
you
what
know
the
what
like
though? And,
we got.
but
I
that
mean,
sounds
we
good,
not
Brooke. But
doing
I
any
look
of
at
that.
V
I'm not
Lenora.
your
Let's
ally.
go to V Lenora though. I fought with V Lenora, but I've heard people call her
All kinds
white
of crazy names.
sheet of paper,
Hmm.
white out. I done heard people call V Lenora everything. And again, I'm like, oh, okay, that's interesting. So I got you. I want to hear from Seven. Oh, Seven, what you think?
hello.
Yeah, Seven, what you
I
think?
mean, we talked about this earlier today. So I don't know. I don't want. I hope Creole Butterfly isn't offended by anything that I said because I made it clear that I wasn't coming for her specifically, but it did seem like divisive. You
I
know.
didn't really, I didn't hear nothing. To be honest, Seven, life be life, and baby, I didn't hear nothing. You're fine. You're fine.
Can I just say this right quick? I'm gonna get down. The avatar that I use is not Mariah Carey. A lot of times when I go up on the panels, they say, "Oh, I can see him. That's Mariah Carey." No, I am not Mariah Carey's avatar. This is Sade.
Oh, Sade.
Sade represents Black American people and African American people. I would never get up here, and I'm sorry if anyone gets offended. I would never get up here with a picture of Mariah Carey as my avatar. I'm so sorry if anybody thinks anything about it, but I want you to know, no, that's not Mariah Carey's picture. That is Shaw Day with the
I thought.
metal, with the glass on the crystals on my face.
Mm-hmm.
That is a picture of Shaw Day.
Okay.
That's all I wanted them to know. But thanks for having me. I'm going to listen in. I think this is very, very important. And it's
I think
always a
it's very
pleasure to see
important, and I can
everybody. Brooke,
appreciate.
Yes, it is.
Miss
Can I say
Creole.
something
I
real
hope
quick?
everything works out okay for everybody, but I'm
Yeah.
listening in. We're out of town, Pastor, but I'm listening.
Okay, and let me say this: I'm glad that we can sit here and have a conversation, and nobody's screaming and calling out people's names, and that's what I can really appreciate because I think we really need to talk about it. I hear what Creole is saying because some people don't feel celebrated; they feel like they're in the background, and now it's like we trying to celebrate, but now it's taking a back seat to certain things. But then I can say, well, if some light skinned women do this, then are they gonna get the same support? And I just think that, we gotta look at things, and at the end of the day, y'all all black people in the eyes of these folks.
Can
So
I say something, Lisa?
go ahead.
So my Solomon, my oldest son, when I said his brook complexion was in the supermarket 2 weeks ago. So he's walking down the aisle to get, to go shopping. And a lady says, "Excuse me, do you work here?" He says, "No, I'm shopping." And so but see how they see how the concept is, because you're black, you must work here.
I don't think the older generation is the problem. I think the
I don't
older
think it's
generation.
that. Yeah,
I don't think the older generation is the
I don't
problem.
think it's
Let
that
me say this.
either.
See, let me say
Sometimes
this. Oh,
people
go
just
ahead,
do that.
Seven.
Like
Go
I
ahead.
heard,
Go ahead. Go ahead, Seven. I'll wait after you. Go ahead.
right? And my whole thing is, it's beaten into our heads that, oh, all these people are being sex trafficked, all these people are being kidnapped, and this and this and that and that. So I don't think it's totally disrespectful for someone to, ask like, hey, are you okay? Or, is this your mother? I know because you actually are their mother, it could come off, however it comes off to you. But I don't know. I just think some things are touchy. Some people are very emotional about certain things. But for me, if I see, someone who's like dark skinned and I see someone who's like,
Your mic went out, Seven.
because black
Your mic
women
went
give
out.
birth to all type of kids or whatever. But from someone who's not from us, it could look suspect.
I mean, Seven, my son and I have went through that his whole life.
Too.
As
Hey,
a
are
matter of
you
fact,
there?
when
Nanny? I don't think that's ignorant.
Your mic went
he,
out, Seven. It was a pause. Your mic went out.
I mean, like Brooke,
Okay.
I heard Brooke one time. Giving a scenario of how me and my son are. I'm dark and I'm dark skinned and he's light skinned. So
Hmm.
my son as a matter of fact, when he just got married not too long ago, he told somebody that I was his mom. They said, "Oh, I thought that was your sister." See, he's used to hearing stuff like that. So now when he hears it, it doesn't even do anything for him anymore.
Can I say
It
this
doesn't
though?
move
I
him.
want to answer this, and I hear what you all are saying, and that's people's perception, and I get that, and I think some people do a whole lot of stuff. But let me say this: I don't think the older generation is the problem. I think the older generation went
Mhm.
through some shit, and they know what they've gone through. I think the older generation went through some mess, and I think the younger generation don't get it because, unfortunately, in our black community, we're not like our Jewish brothers and sisters that preach, we will never forget. And we forget. We forget. I don't know if the pain is too hard for to do, but I don't forget. I don't forget. And I don't think the older generation is the problem. I think we need to be going back to these older people and talking to them and seeing what they're going through. I don't think that these older people had to go through a whole lot. And somebody mentioned the Cotton Club. Let us not forget that only light-skinned black people could even enter the Cotton Club. Unless you were a
Mm.
band player, but the dancers were all light to appease white folk who went uptown to Harlem. So let's not forget those things. I don't think the older generation is the problem. I think sometimes if you forget your past, you doomed to repeat it. And I think that's what we're doing. What are y'all thoughts on that?
Well, Jay Wilson, I know for a fact you have perpetuated like that colorist talk, because in regards to me and like my ex, you've sat up and said, oh, I know how it is. You saw that lighter skinned man and you wanted to get close to that lighter skin. And I've dated all type of men. I've dated dark skinned men, light skinned men, so I didn't really appreciate that, because you're implying that I want to get closer to him because he's biracial or light skinned, because I'm some way trying to, get closer to whiteness. And I found
Well,
that very
from my,
offensive.
and you may have found that offensive, but from my experience, I've seen black men dump their wife and marry white women because they thought they could get them ahead, or vice versa with black women dumping some of their husbands to get ahead. So yeah, and I'm sorry that that offended you, but again, that's my experience, and I think that's something that needs to be talked about because we've seen it happen over and over again. I mean,
But
O.J. Simpson's first wife. I can go through the whole thing. Lionel Richie, Brenda Ritchie got him through Tuskegee. She probably did his papers, and then what did he do? He dropped her and dropped her like a piece. So again, I'm not mad at it. I'm just being honest about it, and that's my experience. I mean, I've seen it happen many times. I've heard a lot of people talk about black people like they were dogs, and I
can I
mean,
go?
I'm not saying that that's you, but my thing is, that doesn't mean that I'm perpetrating colorism. I'm just saying what I saw, and I think sometimes that it's beat in our mind that our folk ain't good, and I'm telling people love who they love. I really don't give a damn. But when you start saying, well, I like black men because I mean white men because black men ain't this, or I like black white women because black women ain't this. Now I have a friend right now. He's been with his Caucasian wife for over 30 years. But never once did he say that black women were this and this and this. That was somebody who he fell in love with. And I can truly say that he's in love with his wife, and she had to be in love with him because she lost a lot. They didn't even see, the grandparents didn't even see their grandkids for about 10 years because of who she married. So again, I get it. And so, I may be accused of that, but that's because of experience. And I'm not denying that at all. And in the heat of the battle in the beef sector, we have come after people. We definitely have. And
So
we've
J
definitely
Lo,
had our run-ins, Seven. So I'm not gonna cap that down. Go ahead.
so I can agree, and I can also disagree as well. And the part that I can disagree about with is those situations that you just described. I have watched witness happen, but I've also watched people just have a preference. There's a preference of men, or like a woman may want to date. We see it with our own eyes. We've seen light skinned women with darker skinned men. I'm a prime example of it.
I
My
don't have a
husband is
problem with
chocolate, he's
preference,
black.
look, though.
I
That's what I'm
know, but
trying to
a
say.
lot of times,
I
wait a
don't
minute,
have a problem
Jazz,
with
let me
preference.
finish.
I have a
Okay,
problem when people try to put down a group of people to
I
say
get it,
that they're this and this and this. And that's the problem that I have.
and
And
that's
I've
an
heard that a
issue.
great deal.
I agree. That's why I said I
Okay.
agree with you on that. I agree
Mhm.
100% because there are people. I have seen a black man make the most ignorant comment about a black woman, stating that he wouldn't date a black woman for whatever reasons. Make it, I mean, just be ignorant. I'm not gonna date my race. I'm dating outside of my race. Black women is this, black women is this. But I've also seen black men that say, okay, well, I'm gonna date my black women, but I only want to date a light skinned black woman I'm attracted to, or a dark skin. I usually see a lot of dark skinned guys with a lot of light skinned guys, I'm sorry, with beautiful black women. Like they like chocolate women. I always see the dynamics. I see it. So a lot of times people do get, sometimes not all, the two mixed up, preference and preference versus colorism, because men do have a lot to play in, especially if they are dating a lighter hue of women and then want to disrespect another black woman that's darker than who they're dating, saying ignorant things out their mouth. Then yes, that's an issue right there, because that should not happen. But if a man prefer to date a darker skinned woman versus a light skinned woman, a light skinned woman shouldn't have no issue with that. That's his preference. If he wants to date her, then that's his preference. You may have a preference on you want to date. Can't nobody tell you who to date, who not to date. It's the ignorant people who is the issue when it comes down to downgrading our black women. I'm gonna mute.
Anyone else? You all have the floor. I'm just listening. Go ahead, Seven. You got the floor. Or
Well,
whoever.
I literally just talk, so someone else can talk. That's fine.
I mean, I think as though I feel as though that sometimes the colorism that we experience, sometimes it can come right within our eyes. I've experienced it also in my own family, with the whole colorism thing, and I think that has to be the saddest of it all, is to experience colorism in your own family. It's sad when you have parents, and I'm speaking for myself. It's sad when you have parents and they look at their child and wish that their child was another complexion. I don't look at either one of my sons and wish that Solomon was dark skinned or wish that Jacob was light skinned. As a matter of fact, when they were little and they were conveying to me how they wish they, no, 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 this is what you are and this is what you have to accept. This is not, we're going to do that. No, 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 no. You were born light skinned, Solomon, so you have to accept that. You were born Jacob, dark skin, so you have to accept that. I really don't like when parents look at their children and want them to be other than what they are.
But then this is the
It's
thing you
just
got to look
not
at. Then
cool.
what made the parents do that? And again,
Right, right.
I wish we could just deal with people's characters and their abilities and all of this stuff.
Mhm.
But it wasn't black people who did this. It wasn't black people who did this. And
Right,
again, the
but
institution of slavery is awful because you're not going to undo something that was ingrained 500 years. You're not just going to undo this in one snap or yesterday. And I think that this is some stuff. I mean, I think that this has been ingrained. And I just think that black people really need to be reprogrammed to let them know that, hey, before you were a slave, you were kings and queens, or you had tribes who were doing their things. Even in slavery, people were doing some remarkable things. We are survivors. The indigenous people can even survive the workload. We are survivors. And to come here, and this is why I'm proud of black people, because people try to cap our abilities and things down. No, we are survivors. But I don't think we get it sometimes. And again, a lot of this colorism is because somebody had sex with people who they thought were animals, or but yet they didn't think having sex with them folk was animals. And I just I just look at that because a lot of us are all of these different hues because of what has happened. And I'm just being real with that. I mean, I'm looking at my ancestry.com and I ain't all African. Okay, it's
Mhm.
20% of something in there. Okay, I'm just calling it out. Go ahead.
Can I say something else real quick?
Yeah,
Separate.
go ahead.
I was gonna tell Catherine, no, I didn't see that thing with that's what I want to say with just read my book. Everybody has been telling me about it. I didn't want like I said, yeah, I do things outside of YouTube. I'm not really on here and sometimes when I'm on here, in and out, in and out, in and out. I'm trying to listen, but I'm in and out. So no, I didn't see that. So yeah.
yeah, that listen, that all okay. All I was saying to I wish you would have seen somebody's live I was in earlier. It wasn't seven, it might have been seven, but somebody's live that I was in earlier, and I exactly said, I said, I am really going to tell Creole to go back and look at that poetry competition so that the words that I'm saying that that she can see it for herself, because sometimes when people tell you stuff you might think they're biased or whatever, and so they have a biased view of the person. No, listen, honest to God, I am not being biased. The way she judged Purple Peach, who gave off a very, very good poem, it just was kind of twisted. And it's like, I mean, you have to, but you will have to look at the way you would have to look at it for yourself. Like I looked at it and I just was like, really? But I mean, when you announce her as a judge, I'm like, look, and I respect Creole. First, I wasn't going to say anything, right? Creole, I wasn't going to say anything. But then when you, I heard you announcing it yesterday. I mean, I started saying clown stuff in the comments, but I was like, I speak to Creole too much not to just tell her the truth. Like I don't have no problems with Creole that I just can't tell her the truth. Cause
Yeah.
I'll
So
let tell her.
are you pretty much saying she's a hater? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
I'm saying
based on
no. I'm saying that
the colorist.
when Purple Peach did her poem, she said the way she judged it was just strange. That's what I'm saying.
But
She
no, she
gave
does
off.
that though. She attacks people all the time. And if you have a tad bit of confidence, yeah, absolutely. If you have a tad bit of confidence, she will just go and and just be playing her hair while she's doing it. And she just, you might want to just go
Watch
look
it.
for yourself at certain things.
Just watch it. Purple Peach did her poem. That's what was they all was supposed to do. It's a love thing. Purple Peach did her poem, and she didn't like she said she didn't like the facial expression. She didn't like this. She didn't like that. And I just was like, well, what did you hear that we didn't hear? I'm like, oh, just you got the wrong judge. I mean, listen, you was cool when you said Lady Nika because I think Lady Nika pretty. You was cool when you said James, but when you said her, I said, listen, Creole can make her own decisions. I mean, I
Well,
tried to, I
well,
clowned her in the comments yesterday.
Lady Nika got her teeth done, so she's doing a lot better these days. Okay, she went and she got her teeth done, and I'm pretty sure that boosted her self-esteem. So no, I don't think Lady Nika would come off as much as a hater. And they say things about Themis. Oh, I don't see her coming off like a hater either. But yeah, just read my book. She has issues, and I would not have her as a judge judging somebody else, you know, on anything. I just wouldn't.
Okay.
But that's to you. Um, you
I'll
know,
try to go back and look up at the poetry thing. I'll try to go back. And wasn't it Jill Comfort Zone? Is that who?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It was on the 26th of October. But go look at the part where Purple Peach did her performance. Just if you don't want to look at the whole thing, just look at that and you will see what I'm talking about. Now listen, everybody knows that Purple Peach can bring it. She can cook, she can rap. I don't think there's nothing that she has ever entered into that she can't do. And I ain't
That's
saying,
true.
listen, that's
That's
facts. She
true.
can
Yeah,
cook,
that's
she can
true.
rap.
Purple Peaches. Yeah, that's
She
true.
can. So for somebody to give her that harsh criticism, listen, if I didn't like Creole, that doesn't mean that when it's time to give you an honest opinion, I'm not going to give it because I will put my personal feelings to this. That's what I noticed in this sector. These people do not know how to put their personal feelings aside and be fair. They cannot like Creole, and because Creole is cooking, oh, your dish look nasty.
Yep.
How her kitchen is clean? Shut up. Don't lie.
Right. I
But
agree.
you let somebody enter cooking competitions who just showed past the other day all this trash in their place. Are you
Oh.
serious? I'm just saying.
yeah,
Well,
you
They had the nerve to show
a stranger you met off of YouTube, you let her move into your place. Can I say something real quick? I think a
Mm,
lot, and I think this is what we're not really talking about. We're not talking about the way men have put us in competition with one another, and light skin versus like dark skin or brown skin, like, and I think that's a real big part, um and how people develop self-esteem and that sort of thing. It's not just with black women. White men do it. They have the way they categorize their people is blondes, brunettes, and redheads. You know what I mean? So I think that plays an issue too, as far as like how you view yourself. If people are telling you a certain thing and you're not working on you and trying to be the best version of you, that can be crippling, you know?
I agree, and I
I
think
mean,
it starts. I think it starts too at home. I think it starts with the parents uplifting and letting their child know as they grow how beautiful and unique that they are, and how they are their own individual. And I think if a parent do that, it will definitely cut down a lot of the insecurities as they grow. When someone may come up to them and say something ignorant that they don't know because they're ignorant, if a parent, because I encourage my boys, and it doesn't matter if boys or girls, I let my boys know they are handsome, that they are worthy, that they are kings, and can't nobody else stop that, or can't nobody else tell them no different than that. So can't nobody just come up to them and say, oh, well, because you dark skinned, I'm not going to give you that job. Yeah, he'll have two words for him, but it's
yeah.
not going to
But it
affect
has
them
to
to
be
the point
repeated daily, Brooke,
where.
because again, you got people in society who's going to do the opposite. So you
Right, but
really
that's
have to
what
put it
I'm
in
saying.
there.
What I'm saying though, what I'm saying is it starts at home as well.
It
If we
does.
empower our children more, can't nobody stop us from doing nothing. Can't
Mm-hmm.
nobody stop you from doing something if a person is trying to come at you for what you look like.
Child, but we got people using fume makeup and child.
right, but
I mean,
listen,
but makeup is
this isn't
makeup.
Well,
right.
it
But
is,
here's
but
this.
Brooke, my thing is, it's still their hands. It shouldn't be. Well, anyway, I'm gonna keep
I
my
wear
mouth
So
shut.
makeup, and my makeup makes me tend to look a little bit
wait.
darker.
Hold
I
up,
get
bro.
pale in the winter. Like if you
Hold
look at
up,
my
bro.
picture now, This was
Mhm.
in the wind. This is literally like recently, and my skin is pale. When I wear
But
my
you
makeup,
wear
it gives me a
makeup
tint.
to match. Brooke,
Yeah.
tell the truth. You wear makeup that
I don't wear it a
matches
lot
your
though.
complexion. Right, but listen to what I'm saying. As dark as I am, I mean, you can
Mhm.
go on my Facebook page and look and see how chocolate I am. As dark as I am, I would not wear makeup to make me look 2 shades lighter. Like I
Right,
accept
I
the fact
agree.
that
I
I'm
agree,
dark.
and it shouldn't
Okay.
happen.
When you
But
put
wouldn't
makeup
that
on
be an
and you 2 shades
insecurity issue
lighter,
though? That
that
wouldn't be
says
a
you don't even want to
colorism issue.
love.
That would be a
Yeah,
person
colorism
thinking
is
that they want
everywhere.
to be
Let me say
lighter.
this though, you all. Let me say this while we're talking about it. And I'm glad somebody brought it up. Like in Asian countries, those women are trying to have surgery so their eyes can be less, with the fold. They don't want to look Asian, and
Right, right.
they really obsess American blondes. And again, these are smart women, but people have made them to think that if they look like this is the standard of beauty. Who told you that? You're beautiful how you're made. But
Right.
again, that's been a problem. It's not only with black people, it's with a lot of people going on. And again, it's always my darker skinned people. I was in Italy, and the northern Italians have an issue with the southern Italians, so the southern Italians tend to be a little darker. Then I went to Spain. The northern Spaniards have an issue with the southern Spaniards because the southern Spaniards look darker and they have more African strains because of things that happened in the past. So I look at that. Even in Japan, the Ainu people have a problem because they look darker than the rest of the Japanese people. Don't even look like them for the most part. And then you go to India. Man, I know Indians who are darker than me, but you can't tell them that. But again, all because somebody who told them that is different. And what do these people have in common? Colonialism, colonialism, colonialism. And
So let
I
me ask
think
you a
that
question, Ginger Wilson.
well,
How should we start to as a community, as our people? Because we can't control what's outside of our people, right? How, as a community, can we begin to fix the problem, even though it's going to take some time? But how can we start
well,
to
we're
try to
doing it
help
right
that?
now. We're discussing it. We're letting people know that hey, everybody has some issues. Um, it's messed up. Some people mess some folk up, and we have to
Can I
realize.
read? Can I, Jay Wilson? I'm sorry to cut you off. Can I read
Go
something
ahead.
real quick? Someone says at 7 is on point with that statement, but how about this? I give Lemon credit for appreciating darker skinned women. Seems like he appreciates black women of all shades. He also appreciates Mexicans who like to use the N word too. But
Yep.
I don't know, but my thing is this with that though. Do you really appreciate women when you're? I don't know. I don't know what appreciate. What is your meaning of appreciate?
I don't know
Um,
because he just was telling Krista earlier that she was over there trying to give him a whole thesis about what happened on her channel yesterday. I'm like, hasn't he told you numerous times that he does not want you, shows you, and you still come back? And that,
well, people, but like I said, it's. I don't
Toxic.
know. Seven. What do you think about that? Do you think that he appreciates black women? I mean, I'm just saying. What do you all think? I don't know. I'm mixed. I'm like I'm
Well,
kind of
I don't think
indifferent.
he hates black women, but I think at his age right now, I think he doesn't appreciate the black woman. I think he doesn't appreciate what we bring to the table. I don't think he hates black women though.
Well, let me say
yeah,
this.
I mean, he was asking a woman who already had 8 children if she would have one of his kids. So there's an issue there. That's number one. But number
Yeah.
two, I also think he knows that the majority of the women over there are black, and he's going to tell you whatever you want to hear. That's what
Yeah.
I think.
Well, let me say this, you all now. Same gender loving folk, gay people, whatever. We are who we are. We're gonna say what we're gonna say for the most part. But I have seen, and again, I'm gonna get. Oh, he always trying to turn straight men against black women. I heard that, but my thing is, no, you all do a good job yourself. We have seen countless people dog out women. I mean, in a most horrendous way over here. I'm telling you, I'm looking at, I don't say any much that more because when you try to really say, I don't know if that's going to work or I don't think that person has your best interest, or that person may be using you, then it's like you hate or you don't want me happy. And so I just step away. But I've seen how some of these men treat people as well. And I'm like, it's one thing to get called something because y'all fighting back and forth and that's how you do in the battle. But then when somebody is sleeping with you and really love bombing you, and then all of a sudden uh it's crap, and then all of a sudden they start talking about you, I'm like, that takes a whole nother meaning, because now you done shared yourself intimately with that person, whereas you ain't done shit like that with me. But it takes a deeper meaning, and I'm getting into that because, again, I think, you all were talking about how women are treated and all of this stuff, and I just think that boggles my mind to me. That's always been an issue with me, because I don't like women getting dogged out. I don't like women made to look like a fool in front of people, and this is why I had a problem with some people in the manosphere, because I felt like their whole goal was to find a powerful woman, or a woman who has some means, or is known to make her look stupid, and to let you know that, hey, y'all think that this is your queen, but look at your queen now. And I've heard things like that even on YouTube. I'm gonna go on mute.
Wow. And well, to piggyback off of that, Jay Wilson, I also think as Black women, we have to know when we are being appreciated, and we also have to stand our ground with boundaries. If we are allowing for these men to treat us this way, that's why they're doing it, because we are allowing them to treat us this way. I'd be damned if I allow anybody to treat me less than. I am a queen, and if you can't accept me for what I am, and we grow together, we fixing together, you're not going to belittle me. You're not going to tell me that I'm less than. You're going to treat me with respect. And if you don't, then I have to move on. I'm not going to tolerate the disrespect. And a lot of times, some women just don't know how to move on. They allow for the man to do that to them, and that's where we see some of the stuff that we've seen. I don't like it.
They allow for the men to do that to them because they're always hoping that the man that they fell in love with will come back. And that's the problem, because these men don't start off like that. It's always a love bombing situation. They have to suck you in before they can do what they do to you. And their true narcissism, it runs its course. So that's not necessarily true. It's, oh, okay, I was disrespected. It's like, I mean, I went through a situation like that where I was completely love bombed. You know what I mean? And it's, if they catch you at a weak enough moment to where you can't see those red flags, you're always hoping that, okay, this guy is going to come back. He's going to come back. And then when you find out he doesn't come back, as far as like, the person that you initially met, that mask has come completely off, then that's when you have to start making better decisions. You know what I mean? Better choices.
Right, but I do believe that men can change, especially if they don't realize. I don't think, not in every situation, but
How
I've
do they
seen men.
change? How do you trust the
I'm getting
change,
ready. Hold
though?
on, I'm getting ready to tell you. Let me get it out. And the reason I say that is because you may have a situation where you're dating someone, and y'all come across a rough patch, boom, and then he do something. Leave him. You put your boundaries. You let him know, I'm not going to tolerate the disrespect. Well, he may come to a inkling to say, "What the hell did I just do? I did not mean to do that. I love this person, and let me come back." They have a conversation. They come back, and the person doesn't do it again. Um, and there's a lot of cases where I've seen people that has happened where they've forgiven the person, and the person has never done, nothing like that, because they realize what the hell has happened. We all have tendencies to know like what is worthy for us to keep or worthy for us to lose. It's when you continuously do it. It's the issue. If you do it one time and then a person say, "Hey, you did this, and I'm not going to tolerate XYZ," they give that person another chance. Then that's on a person. But the next time, that's something different. That's just what I believe.
Well, I hope we open up and really start talking about relationships,
Hmm.
and the things with classism. It's not only racism and colorism, but it's classism,
because I think that if we can have people divided, and if people can get folk divided, then they can always conquer. Where there's unity, there is strength. When people unify, there is strength. I can't wait to one day when somebody says, that's my darker hued sister, and y'all didn't treat her well. And I know my privilege that I bring, and so I don't appreciate you all because, again, what you do to her, you do to me, and then the vice versa. Don't make her feel any less than because, or not, she ain't black enough because she don't have the melanin that you have. Hell, we were all enslaved. I think we really need to really look at that. And then there are always going to be some users, and y'all need to recognize that you using this privilege, or you doing XYZ. I mean, we have to. And I think we just need to take accountability. And you can't disregard my darker sisters for their struggle, but then on the other hand, you can't, you know, dismiss the lighter skinned sister for her struggles. I think that there's a common denominator with all of it. And I think we really have to discuss. And this is what I'm saying. So I don't want to hear nobody having issues when somebody say, well, we're going to have a light skinned sister competition because we need to get together and work together. I mean, because it will come off as suspect, I think. But that's me. I just think that we need to have those conversations. And that's my thing. That's my thought. We need to have those conversations. Now, I'm gonna talk about it, and it may not really set the room in a good order. But there are some people who saying now that these light skinned sisters always trying to stop stuff from other sisters. They privileged, and this is what they try to do because it's gonna come up. Or they always trying to set folk up, and it's always revolving around them. And where did I see this? The Housewives of Potomac, the Housewives of the Potomac. And Lord knows I saw the mess that Wendy had to go through, and her and Karen are cool now. But I looked at the White Housewives of Potomac, and I'm sure that they treat people differently on Bravo. I've seen it on Bravo, and I see this is the kind of mess that we talk about because we're seeing it right on TV, play before our eyes. I can't stand Andy Cohen because I think he do shit like that. I think that I'm looking at the Housewives of Orange County. They going everywhere. And child, our folk go to Jamaica and they act like, but boy, that's the biggest thing. But these housewives of Orange County going all over the country. And they're treated differently. I'm looking at Lisa Vanderpump and what she gets to get away with. And then she has her own Vanderpump rule. All of these women are spent off shows. And baby Candy just get a little thing about her little marriage, and that's it. Nene Leakes don't get nothing. Here come, what's that like? Kim. Kim Kim is just trash. And then what does she get? A whole show. So we've seen this mess. And I think that it shows where people. Anyway, don't get me started. Go ahead. I'm going on mute.
Well, I think when it comes down to like segregating and desegregating, I just wish that a lot of times, because I listen, I'm ready to fight for my chocolate sisters for real. And one of the things that I've said when I was trying to take up for myself because I was being attacked, I'm like, if somebody did something, tell me who it is. Let's get to the root of the problem. Let's address it. Who is the folks that's treating you this way? Because I feel like I'm getting punished for somebody treating you some kind of way or because of my skin tone. So let's find out who the person is, and together as sisters, let's jump on it and fix it. Don't attack me for something that I have no knowledge of, I didn't do, when I'm just your sister.
Well, let me say this. This is the beef sector, and y'all know how people fight. Y'all know
Baby.
how people fight. Y'all know how people fight over here. And when people get ugly, they get ugly. They say stuff. They do all of this stuff. I'm just being real. So my thing is just know how people fight. I don't. But in real life, you all in real situations, when you see people go through struggle, when you've seen people in the school systems of redlining and all of this stuff, and people always try to make like it's us, it's us, it's us, and now we're finding out doing research, no, it's not us, it's not us. But this is what we had to go through. We've had to have people pushing up one group of people and putting down another group of people. Let me tell you, I'm surprised we didn't have
That situation that Rwanda had. The Dutch did that. The Dutch did that. The Dutch was sitting there measuring people's noses and
Mm.
treating people differently. The Dutch did that. And then they left those people, and it was a whole civil war, all because of a feature that people had. Broad nosed black people were considered lower than those aquiline nosed black people who the Dutch would employ. And it could have easily happened in America. It could have easily been a slaughter here. But again, I think that we had some civility, but don't ever get it twisted. And that stuff is real. And we can sit here and play like this slavery stuff don't affect us. You a damn lie. You can't give people 500 years of servitude and harsh treatment and slavery and no freedom and no education and think that it didn't have no effect. And let's not act like slavery stopped. Jim Crow, it was in our generation, okay? The 50s, the 60s, and all into the 70s where people were separate and had facilities. So we can't act like, oh, okay, now 30 years down the line, we good. And everybody need to go walk and we good. I don't see no color. You a damn lie because you the one who pushed that. You do see color. I see all people as people. No, you don't. No, you don't. And people who say that, I'm always suspect because no, you don't.
That's crazy. I think it depends on the area too. A lot of the issues that take place down south, um, it rarely takes place up north, especially when it
That's
comes
a
to.
lie, Brooke. That's a lie. If it
No,
didn't
it's
take
really
place
not.
up
I'm gonna
north,
tell you
let me
why.
say
I'm
that
gonna
if
tell
it
you
didn't
why.
take place up north, then Central Park would never been Central Park.
No, no,
They
no,
took
no,
black
no. Hold
people's
on.
homes.
Why you can't never let me explain my goddamn
Explain it,
answer?
Brooke, because it didn't
Okay.
make no sense what you just said. Go ahead,
It
explain it,
does
because
make sense. I'm
baby,
getting ready to explain to you
go
why.
ahead.
Because I have, and then this is only what people have said from what people said to me, and I've witnessed. They've said up when we're up north, a lot of the times I had to get a clear understanding. This was what 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago. 4 years ago, I had to get a clear understanding of what colorism really was because me myself, I haven't experienced it. So I live up north. Maryland is considered up north. I live up north. So when it comes down to that type of stuff, I haven't experienced it more like how people down south was experiencing it. A lot of other people say the same thing. Even if, as a few dark skinned women say they never experienced being mistreated because of their skin tone. And guess what? They live up north. So I'm not saying that
But
it
Brooke, I
doesn't
can't
happen,
even. But Brooke, hell no. You live in Baltimore. You go to Cumberland, Maryland. That bitch is Appalachian. You hear me?
but it's
Okay,
still
you go
mixture.
to Appalachian.
I've
You
been to
go to
Cumberland
Appalachian, Maryland. Now
multiple
you've been
times.
hanging around that DC Beltway. You get on that DC Beltway, and you start going to that Appalachian part of Maryland and Cumberland and Harper's Ferry and all of them bitches, baby. It will rock your world. I lived in Ohio. Ohio had to be the most racist place. I mean, soon as you got out of the big cities, you knew where you were.
But are we
Hell,
talking
Brooke, I
about
lived in
racism or are we talking about colorism? Because
both.
that's two different things we're
Both,
talking
both,
about.
well, both, because I think everybody gets it. It's not a Southern thing, Brooke. It's not a Southern thing. It's
That's
it's a
not what
it's
I
a it's
said,
a
Nicholas.
worldwide thing. You may not have
Not what
felt,
I said. I
but
said
I'm
it happens
telling you.
more frequently down south than it do up
Okay,
north. That's what I said.
I don't know about that, Brooke. I don't know about that.
Yeah,
You know,
well,
let me tell you
as a
something.
lot of people
Northern,
will say they
well,
ain't
but girl, let me tell you
experienced it.
something. Northern people ain't nothing but Southern people who migrated. Hello, somebody.
But what
I
I'm
know
saying
people
is,
in New
but what
York
I'm
right
saying
now, and
is,
they from
a lot.
Virginia, and you can't tell me. Go
A
ahead.
lot of the issues that I've heard, okay, a lot of the issues, people have said it, people in the chat may have said it, that they have not experienced some issues that a lot of people from down south has experienced dealing with colorism. I've witnessed that. People have said that. So that's the part that I'm saying. I'm not saying that it don't exist at all because it does. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is, if I'm a person and I'm trying to figure out or try to see where a situation has took place where I have experienced it, and I'm thinking, and I'm like, well, damn, let me think. I've never experienced that type of situation. And there's other people who also have said that they've never experienced that, but they've seen it or they have watched it. They have never experienced it. That's all I'm saying. And more than one person, more than two people, more than three people have said that, and they reside up north. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that it doesn't
So,
exist.
so
It
what
does.
are they darker hued sisters or dark
Yeah,
or light
some darker
skinned?
hue, some light skin, some dark. A couple of dark skinned people said that they've never dealt with anything of
Mm,
that magnitude, and I was like, well, damn, okay.
okay, all right,
But I'm not saying it don't exist because it exists
okay.
everywhere. So don't get that part.
You know the Potomac is in Maryland, right? That's all I'm saying. You know the Potomac is filled in the D.C. Maryland area, and I'm gonna leave it right there. So I'm going on mute.
Okay.
Well, no.
But I
See,
mean,
this is where. Let me say this. This is where it gets deep. It's not that. This is where it gets deep. Um, when two people who are qualified are before somebody and they're chosen by another person based on their skin, that becomes a problem. And again, I think that okay, Brooke, I think that that's where Mama D really came in to let people know that this shit happens. You know, I think in the South, people's racism is more pronounced. I think in the Midwestern and Northern states, it's there, but people have a different way of doing it. But they had more race riots. They had race riots in New York. They had them everywhere. I still do think it's up there. Maybe people don't get it, but then you got to realize that there are a lot of communities. I'm thinking of Philadelphia and places where black people had some autonomy and they had some freedoms and stuff. But if they didn't have issues, then there would be no AME church. Black people would have still been worshiping with white people. And that's where racism is. But when you look at Absalom and you look at Richard, I can't think of his name now, who started the AME church, they were light skinned men. I'm just being real. And
Richard
W.E.B. Du Bois
Allen, Richard
and
Richard
W.E.B.
Allen
Yeah,
and
Richard
Thomas
Allen.
the Quinces started the
Yeah,
AME Church, and
yeah,
they both went there. Richard Allen was the founder of Mother Bethel AME Church,
yeah.
Six and
So,
Lombard here in Philadelphia.
child, look at Jeremiah Wright.
Okay,
Look at Obama. You don't think that white people felt comfortable with him? And I'm just saying,
and he
Herman
had to
Cain.
part ways from him too.
Oh, and again, he had to part ways from a lot of people. So I'm looking at that. So there was no Al Sharptons, there was no Jesse Jacksons. He had to deal with what he had to do to get elected because folk. Yeah. I'm just saying. And again, we let's go to the colorism thing again. I'm looking at Obama. I'm looking at Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris' dad was Jamaican. Her mom was Indian. Obama's mama was white. His dad was Kenyan. But baby, again, look how we treated them. Now, again, white folks saw them as white folk. I mean, white folks saw them as black people, and we saw how they was treated, especially Obama with the Congress and Republican congressmen and senators yelling and calling the man a liar. That had never been done. But see, we up here fighting, talking about how he really wasn't black. Well, the other folk didn't see him that way. And again, this is where I come down on this. We're talking about that man's light skin and da da da. That man identified as black. He identified as black, and he was treated as such in the government when he was president. And again, we argue the fact, well, he ain't really black, and black is black. Do you understand me? Black is black. Those Melanesian people, those Timorians over there in Melanesia, which are islands where there are black Melanesian people in Fiji and all of those places, those Aboriginal people in Australia, they are black. You hear me? And they're catching hell. Catching hell. Dark skinned people are catching hell everywhere. Black people are catching hell everywhere. And this is what I'm trying to say. And we trying to figure it out here. And we got to realize that we got to come together because folk are catching hell. Okay, I go on mute.
Well, I want to know, will everybody be, on camera for this challenge? Like, is everybody going to show themselves and, are you guys going to dress up? Like, how is this challenge going to go?
I'm actually reconfiguring everything because, like I said, it wasn't intentional to hurt anybody. And since some people that I know really support me, like Brooke and some other people, it really hurt them in a sense. And I was mother when I went up on his panel last night in Nubiology and stuff. So I'm actually reconfiguring it and see a better way of doing it because I think it was my wording as well, for the lack of better words. And I get it. I get it. And so again, I don't even want to keep talking about that because I am in the back room. I can say reconfiguring it and see how I want
Well,
this to come about.
I'm glad that I'm glad it came up because I think we need to have more conversations like this. And Seven is in the chat. I'm in the chat. Mama D and Brooke is in the chat. Nobody ain't screaming and hollering and calling
Right. I
nobody
don't have
no
time for
B.
that.
No, but well, no, I'm just glad because I'm just glad, and I think this is how we have to have that conversation. It has to be a thing of learning, like that we can really do this because at the end of the day, I think it's a big divide. And at this particular point, you all, and I know folks try to, at this particular point, we don't need to be divided. We really
Right.
don't need to be divided. I'm just saying, I mean, we need to kind of look at the common denominator. And I keep saying that because, again, everybody talk about some I don't see color and I don't know why black people always making a race card and stuff. But we didn't do the deck. Y'all, excuse me, you all started all of this. You start dividing people by color and all of that stuff. You start putting that on because I mean black people didn't devise the census. I mean, we don't have all of that stuff. That's what we are divided in race. Black, white, even white, Hispanic and Hispanic. I mean, white, Hispanic. What? Okay, really? But that's where we have gone to now. And who does that? Who makes these things up? Who makes those boxes up? So don't tell us to get over it and we shouldn't be doing this because y'all made the boxes. And this is what has
Um,
really cost it. Go ahead.
Okay, let me say this too, and then I'm gonna drop down. My sleep is trying to come down on me, and I got another chapter in this book I gotta read at churches in the morning. So I want to say thank you so much for allowing me to explain myself. Thank you all for just telling me how you feel about it. At least we having a conversation, so it's not all bad. You know what I'm saying?
Misunderstood said, can anybody enter the competition?
Lord.
Now, do you feel like
I
that's being missed?
misunderstood. So,
I suggested that I think you should do a beauty pageant because we haven't seen a beauty pageant on here before.
that's a good thing too. Okay. Okay. I
How do
know
we define
K
beauty?
Fit
Because
gave me the
again, uppity could be beautiful to some people. I'm just saying. I'm not saying that she's not
Don't
beautiful,
lie,
but how do
person.
we define beauty?
right. What was I gonna say? Oh, K Fit gave me a name, and I'm gonna use it. She said, "What is it called? Uh, my beauty rocks or my beauty my beauty." My black beauty rocks or something. I don't know. I got it on my flyer that I'm waiting to complete. But the way I don't know when she gave me that yesterday, I happened to read it. I said, "That's it. That hits." So, like I said, don't give up on me yet, y'all. I am back redoing it. I have to make sure I'm okay with whatever I redo, but I don't want to, hurt those that really, support me and stuff. I know it's gonna be some people, no matter what I do, they're gonna, I ain't talking about them. I'm talking about the ones that really want to see this happen and really support me. So, on that note, Jay Wilson, Seven, and Catherine, I am out of here. Thank you so much for having me up, and you all have a blessed night.
All right, you too.
You too, Rio.
Well, look, I appreciate you all coming up. I just think that I didn't know all of this was going on, and I'm just glad that we had the conversation because, it's the beef sector. People gonna take it for what it's worth. They're gonna run with it. And my thing is, I don't believe in censoring people. No, I'm not being messy. I don't believe in censoring people. Now, I may not agree with it. I may not like it, but it's not my platform, and I just step back from it. Now, can we talk about it? Hell yeah,
You
hell
know,
yeah.
Creole Butterfly is a really, really sweet person. And I'm glad she kind of cleared that whole thing up because, to be honest with you, there were people who were looking to pull the cannon out on her today, you know?
Wow, that's something else. Misunderstood. I'm not over the competition. You would have to get that from Creole Butterfly when she comes up with it. We were just talking about it because it may have caused some problems. And then this is the thing. When does dark become dark and light becomes light? I mean, where's the cutoff? I was watching Spike Lee's movie, School Days, where they had a problem with colorism. And I saw some people who were a part of the gamma rays who I'm like, girl, you ain't no gamma ray. If we're gonna be honest, you are a lighter tone of chocolate, but you just had long hair. So I'm looking at Jasmine Guy's character and Tisha Campbell's character and all of that. But then I was looking at the other women on, and so where does that line begin? I know some people who look like the red dirt in Alabama, and they don't think they're dark. I mean, it can go. Hey, I mean, where does it start? Where does it end? And I think this is where we really get messed up, because you can go as fair as you can be, where people even have different color eyes, and dark as the midnight sky. I mean, who's to say where it starts in the spectrum? And I think it just gets really difficult. I just think that we need to recognize that we've had this ugly history, and of it, we need to kind of own what it is and be aware of our privilege. Because let me say this, y'all, I got to be aware of privilege as well. We think that everybody has this and this and this, and some people may not, because we may have been raised in middle class homes. We may have been raised in the projects. So again, we can't assert that everybody should know this. I'm just saying. So, anybody else have anything?
No, I think I'm good, but you guys stay hydrated and be blessed.
Somebody
Well,
said,
I
I
think
think Somebody said, I think the impromptu discussion I witnessed from Patton 7 were some of the more interesting ones I've heard on the subject. Pastor, I didn't mean to say messy, but oh, no, no, no. I could be messy, but right now I'm not in a messy mode, except for I said some a little bit messy, but for the most part, it's really been serious for the most part.
No, when Pastor is in his messy mode, he talks real slow, like this. He talks real slow. That's how you know he's gonna be messy.
Sometimes, I was talking a lot of mess this morning. Oh, seven, I won a pickleball competition. I won pickleball competitions, and I just learned it. And I was talking mad trash. I swear, I was talking mad trash. I'm serious. I learned how to play today, and I came in like real like, well, y'all don't beat me too bad. I'm just learning. But when we started playing for points, it was on like Donkey Kong. I'm telling you, I'm feeling it right now because I was running for balls but I just learned how to play pickleball, and I really like that game. I really like that game, so I'm gonna further pursue that. But yeah, but anyway, I was talking mad trash, and I was not talking slow, and I was doing a whole lot of cursing. But it is what it is. I enjoyed myself. It was a curse of victory. It wasn't a curse of defeat. So anyway, I know Quani might be happy or mad because I was telling her that victory was creeping up on my back. Did you see Kwani and her menopause situation?
I did not. What's going on with her?
Oh, seven. You need to. So, and I'm not laughing at the lady's menopause. I'm just laughing at how she's going through it and how she's talking about it. So, Kwani is going through menopause, and it is well, how
Did you
she's
say
talking about it.
mental pause?
Not menopause. Well, it's menopause, but it's the men all pause for her.
There is no T in menopause.
No, I meant to say menopause because I'm not. I know it's menopause, but I
Men-
said menopause because again, she's going mental over that situation. So it's a play on words.
so
Menopause.
wait,
I know it's
well,
menopause.
so wait a minute. Is she really going through menopause or no?
No, she is.
Is
She
she
really
like having
is.
hot flashes and
She
stuff?
she kept on so seven. She kept on saying, "Whoo." She said, "Woo." She said, I cussed God out this morning. She cussed the devil out this morning. She said that she don't want nothing but the spirit coming to visit her because if anybody of human flesh coming to visit her, she might snap off. She said she ain't never thought about unaliving somebody until this menopause hit her. And she said if she can get away with it, she might do it. Oh my God, you got to hear her because I'm telling you, you know how
Jesus,
Kwani
I
is, but
really help
Kwani
with
had me
the
rolling, huh?
She does this every holiday season. She's a nut. That's why she's over there by herself. She does this every holiday. You know this.
What did she do menopause though? I
No,
mean, this is
every holiday, like she just throws like these hissy fits. Like you
well,
have to know that about Kwani.
do you think that this is it though? Do you think this is why? Because she was being very honest, Seven. She was being very, very candid about this. It's menopause, but because Kwani is going back shit crazy over there. I said menta because she's going mentally crazy over this
Me,
menopause.
this happens every holiday season. Her friends then died off. There's nobody who can have even a Friendsgiving with her. Like she's gonna be alone. And it's quite sad, but she will be online cussing us all out. I can assure you of that.
Well, okay. Well, I tell you what, it was quite interesting, but it says a lot because she was really talking about it, and she said she don't wish this on her worst enemy, and oh, it was interesting, and all I kept on hearing was woo, woo. She kept on doing that woo.
Yeah, she does that. Like I mean, she's been wanting to kill somebody for a very long time.
Well, okay. Well, look, I'm gonna take your word on it, but yeah. Well, look, I'm getting ready to log on off and hang out, but I'm glad that you came up. And you all go visit Seven. We had Creole Butterfly on. Catherine Powell was on. Mama D was on. Brooke Valentine was on. God, it was a lot of people on today.
I know
It,
Catherine Powell is sick of my ass. She can't stand me. But I like everybody. Let me just say this: you have to unblock me so that I can, cause a stir up in your chat again.
I thought I had unblocked you. Did you get
No,
blocked again?
yeah, of course I did.
Oh my God, I didn't do it. I
Block
didn't do
like
it.
three messages.
Ushers, please do not block Seven. I don't know. And y'all, and let me say this: if you have a problem with Seven, block her on your channel. Don't block her on mine. So now I'm gonna have to go and unblock Seven now because she's been blocked again. Okay.
Rock me. Okay, all right. I'll talk to you later.
All
I
right.
like
What's up, Catherine?
grown Seven. I like you. I thought what grown folks said earlier was funny. He said it's not your complexion, it's your stank breath. I heard
Okay, so
what's funny.
no, let me tell you something. When I tell you I was in stitches today because ZX came up on the panel and we were talking about the whole, darker than a Snicker type of thing. So first of all, we were trying to even figure out if we were darker than a Snicker because we were like right borderline above a Snicker. So I was like, well, shit, we couldn't even, get
That
into
was
the challenge if we wanted to.
that was funny though. He was like, it's not your
I never
complexion, it's
looked
your
at a
stank.
sticker like that. Now I gotta go watch buy one and see
You
how it
gotta
looks.
buy one, and I promise you, none of us are darker than a Snicker.
I don't know if you can see my picture, but I am. I mean, Pastor have seen pictures of me,
I
so he
have, but
knows
your
I'm
picture ain't showing up though. For some
So
reason, it ain't showing up.
here's the thing:
me
there
or
is somebody who is sending around a picture of Creole Butterfly, and I said,
who's
okay,
doing
I
that?
can't. Well, I can't tell you who, but I'm just, put it this way: I'm not gonna put it out. Like I said, I like Creole Butterfly. She's never done anything to me, but her picture is circulating. Okay. I personally always thought that she was the girl in the photo, but then we find out that that's a book that she did. So
Never seen
that's
her.
what happened. Because I was thinking, well, if she's not darker than a Snicker, so how's this going to work? But that's not
Yeah,
her. So
that's not. Catherine, girl, put yourself on mute until you get ready to talk, cause you in the wind or something. You in a wind tunnel or turbine or something, cause I keep on hearing wind. Go ahead, Seven.
yeah,
I,
so yeah, that's just what I wanted to put out. But like I said, that that's why I said people were ready to pull the cannon out on this Creole Butterfly. But like I said, I'm glad she expressed herself, and she really is a sweet lady. And I do think she had the best intentions, but things just kind of went left. So now she can go and she can, recalculate what she's going to do and be more inclusive with us Black women. And I think it's going to work out.
Okay. Catherine,
You know what?
anything before we leave out?
Yeah, I'll say this real quick to Seven. You know that that's sad because Creole posted a picture of her and her Miso and I are just about the same complexion. So it's kind of sad that somebody is circulating a picture of her when she's actually posted a video of her showing exactly what she looks. People just go, this is what I'm talking about, going and doing the most. She's already posted a video of a couple of months ago of exactly what she looks like. I mean, people just do too much. It was her husband, her kids. People do too much. And if they were following her, they would know that.
Yeah,
Okay,
well,
whatever.
you know what sector we're in, so this is how it goes. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't have an issue with Creole Butterfly. Actually, I think she's really lovely. So
Okay. Well, look, you all, it was nice. I'm getting ready to log off. Thank you all for coming over. And I guess people gonna go see this debate. I'm not gonna look at this debate. I'm
that's
just
if he's even up. Is he even up? Like, what's happening? Is he
I
around?
I don't know. So I don't know. So if something really jumps off, I might try to get on. But right now, I don't see it. But we'll see.
All right. Well, you guys take care.
All right, y'all take care. Y'all have a good one. Peace and love.
Before I get out of here. Yeah.